Morning and welcome to After GMS. It's so great to see you here as Megan starts the wave already. Woo! It's nice to see a lot of you are regulars on the feed already. I'm Tracy McCain here with Megan Milleris and Ed Matthews.
And we are also accompanied by heat and humidity, the mugginess back in full force. Ed Matthews, a typical July day in North Carolina.
Yeah, it's the same old story about every day, isn't it? This morning, we've got this little band of clouds that's rolling through, a little thicker cloud cover than what we had earlier. Now, I think overall still a mix of sun and clouds across the Piedmont today. These clouds over the next couple of hours, maybe a drop or two of rain, but that's about it. Again, I think the bulk of the day, more of a mix of sun and clouds across the area. Temperatures this morning are generally into the mid 70s, on our way to, we'll say, upper 80s to near 90 today. Not everybody reaching the 90-degree mark because we will have sun, but there will be some intervals of clouds mixed in as well. The storm chance really pretty low today. There could be a pop-up shower or storm in the afternoon and through the evening hours, and we're looking at about a 30% chance of that today. Otherwise, partly cloudy and near 70 for the low tonight. Tomorrow and Wednesday, just a mere 20% chance, and we're back into the upper 80s to near 90. Isolated storms pop up on Thursday and Friday afternoon. Maybe just a little better chance of an afternoon storm for the weekend. But hey, don't cancel those plans if you're an early bird and you've already made weekend plans. Not a washout the way it looks now. This 7-day has just got, hey, July stamped all over it. This is exactly the kind of weather we would expect this month.
I was getting into my car this morning and I felt the rush of like heat and humidity. It was like 3 a.m. Yeah. It was like 78 degrees and I was like, it's gonna be a hot day.
Yeah, yeah. I usually come to work in like a huge sweater because it's chilly in the newsroom and I have a thing about too cold air conditioning and I was like sweating when I got in my car because it was just too hot to have it on. Yeah. Even early in the morning. Normally it's okay.
Right. Not today or this week.
Today. Well, thankfully, there was great weather yesterday for a huge historic moment. Space tourism moved closer to reality as billionaire Richard Branson and his Virgin Galactic rocket ship traveled to the edge of space. We want to know, how do you feel about space tourism? Would you go to space if it were affordable? Let us know in the comments section while we talk about this. So during the test flight, Virgin Galactic rocketed its space plane called Unity into the final frontier, and Branson became the first person to blast off in his own spaceship. He beats Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin into space by just 9 days. Talk about a competition. This test flight was marketing gold for Virgin Galactic. Virgin Galactic has more than 600 reservations already from eager space tourists, at tickets initially selling at $250,000 each.
So you asked on the Facebook Live chat here, would you consider going to space? I'll answer first.
Okay.
I would definitely consider it when it's more affordable, and I'm talking about like $100 or less.
Yeah.
And you know, that could be 10 years from now, so a lot of people would have gone up and back by then. But you know, $250,000 a ticket, that is way out of my price range. I would have to take out a loan of some sort, so like finance it somehow. But I've already got a mortgage and a car payment, so and 3 kids.
And the total amount of time spent up there, I mean, Richard Branson was up there with zero gravity for 3 minutes, and that was it. And then they were back down to Earth. So it was really cool, but it doesn't last very long, and so your money might not be long-lived. Yes, up there. I don't know about this. love space. I think it's super fascinating, but I prefer to just look at the videos and pictures from right here on Earth. I don't necessarily trust the technology to get there and get back reliably. As you mentioned, it would probably take a few years for this to even be widely available, much less considered fully safe. But it is certainly a milestone moment, and it's really cool that we are seeing this unfold in our lifetimes in the near future. This is incredible. And I know that Richard Branson was talking about this yesterday when asked, was it all about beating Jeff Bezos to space? And he said, no, it wasn't about who was first. But, you know, they definitely both kind of encouraged each other, I think, to move forward with this as fast as possible. Now we'll see who has the cheapest prices, Ed Matthews. I know you would probably be on the list to go.
Oh, well, you know, these guys are rich boys with big toys. I mean, that's the bottom line. And we just enjoy watching them play. But if I had that kind of dough, I'd probably go up in space. And you're absolutely right. I would love to do it. As Tracy said, it has to be a little bit more affordable. And if I do pay, you know, a pretty substantial price, I'd want to go up there and orbit the Earth, you know, for a little while and kind of soak up the view. You know, you take the space station, for example. It takes about 92 minutes for it to encircle or go around the Earth one time. And the astronauts and the scientists that are up there see a sunrise about 16 times in a 24-hour period.
Wow.
So, you know, those stats, and I remember reading how fast it was moving. It's chugging along at a pretty good clip to move all the way around the globe in 92 minutes. But if I got up there, you know, if I took the risk to get up there, I'd want to float around for a while.
Yeah.
Because not only is it risk going up, it's a risk coming back.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. But I want them to get. I want it to become more of a routine thing before I strap myself into that chair in the space capsule.
Yeah, most of our viewers here on the live feed tend to agree. They want to wait a little bit of time before even thinking about that. Nadine said, no thank you. Too much going on down here on Earth. That's a good point. Sherry said, not interested in space travel. Joe said, no way. Traveled a lot, experienced bad plane rides. Cannot imagine going into space. Ugh. Chuck said, space to go boldly where no man has gone before. Well, until this man. Yes, that's true. Jason said, I've traveled my whole life, so I'll take a window seat and then you can call me Rocket Man.
We can definitely do that regardless if you go to the edge of space. Jason provides some of the most hilarious commentary on our feed daily, so we certainly appreciate that.
I'd want Jason on my flight. He'd probably calm everybody's nerves, you know?
Or laugh you hysterically so that you don't realize that you're taking a flight. Yeah. So you know that story of Howard Hughes? Have you ever seen The Aviator?
Yes.
Okay, with Leo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a story of Howard Hughes, right? And, you know, he famously had like this mega plane that he was building, and it took forever. Obviously delays, but he's like, I'm going to fly it, and I'm going to fly it myself. You know, I'm going to get it up in the air, and then people will believe in it, and people will, you know, just figure out if they want to, you know, take it as well. So it kind of reminds me of that. You know, like, because Branson was like, you know, who else to do this first? He probably wanted the publicity too, but I think he probably also was like, you know, maybe if I do it and I come back and I bring all my close family, you know, then people will believe the technology and the science, and they'll come to grips with like, hey, this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, he was like a little kid on Christmas morning yesterday.
Oh, he was,
After he got back, he was just absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah.
He had tweeted that this was just absolutely a dream come true for him. People were giving him a hard time about how that dream is so expensive for the average person, but he did talk about some fundraising efforts to send people into space for less of a cost.
Right.
Because the overall goal, he said, is to make space more affordable and racially diverse than it currently is. So hopefully those goals will be met in the near future. Heather weighed in, I'm not going any higher than normal airplane unless we find another planet and everyone has to go.
There's 600 reservations so far. So some people have some money. You know, to a billionaire, $250,000 is probably like $25.
That's true.
Not to me.
No. All right. Well, we have a fun second conversation coming up momentarily about family reunions, so you can go ahead and start weighing in on that. But we do have some morning headlines to get to on this Monday morning. And unfortunately, some serious news out of Winston-Salem. A 12-year-old girl is recovering after someone fired a bullet through her bedroom wall. Officers say this happened yesterday while several family members were home in the 1800 block of Pleasant Street. Police say a gunman approached the house and fired several shots in what appeared to be a targeted attack. One of the bullets hit a 12-year-old girl's leg. She went to the hospital. Thankfully, she's expected to be okay. No one else was hurt. In Greensboro, police are investigating a wild home burglary on Short Street. This happened just before 3:30 this morning. Police say the two suspects drove away from the house and the homeowner followed behind them. Officers say the suspect started shooting at the homeowner before the chase ended. Police say no one was injured, thankfully, and the investigation is continuing.
Well, here's something neat we want you to get on your calendar. 2 Wants to Know's Tanya Rivera is getting ready to celebrate a big birthday. She's turning 50, and for her birthday, she wants you to help put food on the table at a one-day food drive. It is Tuesday, July 20th from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Harris Teeter at Friendly Shopping Center. So you can donate in person or you can do it online. Her second wish is to spread joy, something that Tanya is just innately great at. And that's where the prize wheel comes in. Maybe you can't give, but maybe you can use a pick-me-up. Everyone gets to spin the wheel, and local businesses have donated some awesome prizes. It's while supplies last, of course, at the Harris Teeter on Friendly. Mark your calendar for July 20th. All right, so our next conversation right now is all about family reunions. They are making a comeback now that the country is trying to regain a sense of normalcy after more than a year of social distancing on top of everything else we went through this year.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, we want to know, when was the last time you had a family reunion? Maybe you're like this Triad family who's been hosting reunions since 1928. This year, the Holt-Bass-Chavis family celebrated their 93rd reunion. They've hosted the family get-togethers all across the country, including in Chicago, Florida, and in New York. And this year, instead of everyone coming to one place, families are meeting in several smaller locations and then meeting collectively by Zoom for the rest. So we got some comments in. We heard from one person who said 2019 was the last time we had a family reunion. Charvine said, our last family reunion was 2 years ago in my home state, New Jersey. Before that one, it had been about 15 years since we had a family reunion. Another viewer says, the Lillies got together on July 4th. Exciting. The Colville family in Pleasant Garden writes, for the last 28 years, my family has a very large reunion, but we had a skip last year, of course. Booked my flight going July 29th. Can't wait. Another viewer writes, the Wesley and Catherine Milton family had one this weekend. Awesome. So they are making a comeback. And, you know, on these type of events where you can be outdoors, you can take, you know, stock of the parks and spread out, and, you know, you're with family. It's really pretty awesome that these are making a comeback.
Yeah, I think it's amazing that you have family reunions that you've talked about coming up.
Well, we do one every year, usually in September. I haven't heard about it this year. Obviously, we didn't do it last year.
Yeah.
And if we haven't heard about it yet for this year, I doubt it's happening.
Yeah.
You know, my family's kind of slow with, you know, moving forward, which, hey, we've got a lot of seniors in our family, so they're taking different precautions, I think, or extra precautions, I should say. But my husband's family has one at the end of this month, and you know, we're still kind of talking about it.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think that's just a cool way to connect and stay in touch.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's so busy. You know, you often have family members who move to different cities or different states, so it's just really a great way to stay in touch.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a family reunion, I mentioned on the Good Morning Show, since I was a little girl. Like, I have only vague recollections of meeting in a park and having kind of that communal spread of food. My grandmother was one of 15 children. So
amazing.
Yeah, so it was always a huge family reunion. There were always people there we had never met before.
Yeah.
You know, because the family was so large.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I've moved out of St. Louis, obviously, since then. So I'm not sure if they still do it, but it's just really a great way to see everybody and meet people maybe you didn't know existed in your family.
For sure. All right, Ed Matthews, how about you?
The last family reunion was 2019. Of course, we didn't have one last year. Never been to a family reunion on my mom's side of the family, but my dad's side of the family has been having yearly reunions all the way back to sometime in the 50s. And as I mentioned earlier, we have just incredible home movies of some of those reunions past, and it's really cool to go back and look at those old movies. But it's a lot of fun. We usually have it in October, just like Tracy said with her family. Haven't heard what we're going to be doing this October. It may or may not happen. Not as many people coming to at least our reunion as in years past. Back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, boy, there was a crowd of people there, and of course plenty of good food to go along with the fellowship and getting reacquainted essentially with a lot of your family members.
Yeah, it's definitely the food, but there's nothing like being around your family.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you've missed them for so long, you know, just that coming together means so much. So posted here on the feed, and a lot of you are responding. Thank you so much. So we'll start with Jason. He said, in 2019, we are honoring my dad this year. It was his favorite thing to do every year. His dad passed away recently, so a nice honor for him. Sherry Henderson said, years ago for the Henderson family, we need to have another one. Bobby Odom said, we haven't had a family reunion in 8 years. He said, I need to plan one. That would be good. Carol said, my family lives all over the U.S. and she had never had one. Then we got your response, Megan, and Heather said, the last time I went to a family reunion was my grandfather's mom's side, and it was in 2015, a few months before he passed.
No.
So yeah, there's a lot of planning going on. Homer Ward said, the Ward's reunion here in Groomtown, we have our reunion for 102 years.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty awesome.
Wow.
Kim Smith said she had one last year via Zoom. 92 years. 2021, she's planning for the 93rd year.
Some
awesome.
amazingly long family reunions.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see how the generations change over time. Ed, I know you said you have like old tapes of your old family reunions.
Oh yeah.
From when you were a child.
Yeah, those family reunions of past. I mean, the ones that we've had recently have been great, and it's wonderful to see people, but all those little youngsters, you know, that were there back in the 60s and 70s are grown now and older, but it's just really cool to go back and look at those home movies. Really enjoy that.
Yeah, I just was responding to Joanne here on our feed. She said, we had a large party for my 90th birthday in 2020 and plan a smaller one for my birthday in September, which is awesome. Which should be 91.
Amazing, Joanne.
I love it.
And she's one of our regular Facebook commenters. So we appreciate you, Joanne. Hope you have an amazing 91st birthday coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's get a final check on our forecast. Ed, I can't help but notice our sky camera looks darker and darker. Is it going to rain this morning, or is it just cloudy?
I wouldn't let that happen.
Okay.
A sprinkle, okay? Maybe. Yeah, you know, I'm looking at the sky. The clouds are zipping along. In the 20 minutes that I've been out here, the sun has peeked out about 5 or 6 times. The clouds are still rolling through, and you can see those on the sky cam. These are blow-off clouds from thunderstorms that were over the Tennessee and Ohio Valley yesterday, so you can blame the folks out there for that. I'll watch the clouds this morning and see where they go. Overall, a mix of sun and clouds today, but obviously it's pretty cloudy right now. We're looking at mid-70s right now. If the clouds hang tough, we would never make it to 90, and that's a blessing. But let's go with the continued mixed sun and clouds, and temperatures close to 90 this afternoon. And I'll clean up this mess of a forecast coming up today on WFMY News 2 at noon. Now, looking ahead in the 7-day, generally a mix of sun and clouds each day, upper 80s to near 90, only a pop-up storm each afternoon, a small chance of that. So maybe a sprinkle, maybe not. So far I haven't seen one out here, but I'll keep looking. I'm looking in the sky right now.
Oh yeah, you are. You've been doing
Go away. Clouds, go away.
Hey, it's giving you some relief from the sun and heat, so
Well,
I
that's
wouldn't wish them
true.
off just yet.
Maybe we want them to stay here. Yeah.
By noon, you're going to be sweating and wishing you had not wished those clouds away.
Where did that canopy of clouds go?
The funny thing is, now we know how you really do your
I
forecasting.
know.
You
Yeah,
talk to the clouds.
all this business about computer models, that's a joke. We just come out and look up in the sky.
Exactly.
Got a little rain stick out there, probably. The rain dance. It's so funny.
Hilarious. All right, thanks for
boy.
showing us your inside knowledge there, Ed Matthews.
There you go.
We'll all be AMS certified by the end of the week.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Well, thanks for joining us on After GMS for a lot of fun, great conversations, and of course, who knows what comes out of our mouths.
We don't know.
This is the fun of it
Yeah,
all.
that's pretty amazing there, yeah.
We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Take care.